So looking at your going through school, you were an academic success. You're doing well. You're looking to go into, you call it universities, right? Is that what you call college universities? You're looking to go into universities. Where are you looking to go?
So my first choice university was Imperial College London, which at the time I think was either the first or second highest ranked university in the world. That's basically our equivalent of MIT. It's a science only university. And I got a spot there with very high requirements. I had an A requirement. Those were my predicted grades, so I shouldn't have had an issue getting in. I applied for the University of Oxford as well, but so for Oxford, for a lot of their courses, you have to take an entrance exam, and I it wasn't even that I fucked up the exam, it was that I didn't try on the exam. I don't know why. I just really was sort of like YOLO'd it, and it obviously didn't pay off. In the UK, you have to apply to 5 universities, so I applied to a couple more as well. Imperial was the one I wanted to go to. Now,
is this the same one that you lost your spot for?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is such a sore spot, but yeah. I basically so I'm not someone who suffers from anxiety. I never have. But in the lead up to my exams, I had this really big bout of anxiety. Don't know why, don't know where it came from, but I had it. And I'm the sort of person who, when I feel anxiety, I can't distract myself. I know a lot of people who suffer from anxiety chronically, and they're like, okay, I'm going to do this because it distracts me. I'm going to do this because it distracts me. I can't do that. I'm the sort of person who's like, I have to sit and focus on it. I have to talk about it. It has to be the forefront of my mind. Otherwise it festers. And what that meant was that I couldn't focus on studying. I could not study for my exams. And I remember desperately trying and just feeling like utter shit. And as a result, I missed my predicted grades. And I still got like way above average grades, but they weren't what I needed to get into this university. And I remember going and picking up my results at school with my dad and just like crying my eyes out. Because it was, to me, like, you know, I said how like it's a really cocky thing to say, but I was like that kid who was like good at everything. This was the first time I'd ever experienced like a real failure in my life. Like, it was the first time that I'd tried to do something and it hadn't worked out. And when that's what you're experiencing a month before you turn 19, that's quite an old age to first experience that. And I didn't know how to process it. And actually, it still affects me now in a number of things, but especially my first 2 years of university, it affected me so badly that I really screwed up a lot of what I was doing in general in my life as a result. But yeah, it fucking screwed me over so bad, like from a mental perspective. But yeah, no, I lost the spot of the uni.
Can you go into it, like what it felt like dealing with that failure and kind of like living the day-to-day life with that?
Yeah, so for me, like in uni, let's say my first year of university, I was so scared of failing after trying that what I would do is not try. So it's like, to me, I wanted to be in control. And so it was like, well, if I fail on purpose, or if I just like don't do well on purpose, then that's because I chose to do that and not because I tried and failed as a result. And that was a really big mindset that I couldn't overcome. So it was like, I would go to actually in my first year of university, I skipped uni a lot, but like I would go to my lectures and I would not make notes, or sometimes I would make notes, and then I wouldn't do a load of work. I would study for the exams at the end of the year. So I didn't do badly by any, like from an objective perspective, I still got, I don't know how you pronounce it, cum laude in like my first 2 years of university, our equivalent. So I got 2-1. Like during the year, I just couldn't. And so it was like, if there was something, I remember so explicitly, like if there was something I didn't understand, I would not ask anyone. I wouldn't ask my lecturer. I wouldn't ask my friends, because the idea of feeling like I couldn't do it myself and I had to ask someone for help was the most shameful thing I could possibly fathom, that I just wouldn't do it. Now, like most grown adults and even plenty of teenagers and even some children will know that that is a fucking ridiculous mindset to have. It's so toxic. It's not conducive to moving forward. It's not conducive to growth, success, anything like that. But I could not get over it at all. And it got to my third year of university, so my final year, or I suppose it wasn't supposed to be my final year at the time because I was still supposed to be doing a master's degree, but the final year of my bachelor's degree. And at the beginning of the year, I was like, okay, it's going to be difficult, but I actually want to try this year. And I need to try and let go. And it was a lot harder than I thought it would be. And looking back, it still was pretty bad. In esports, I've still had to be working on it and stuff like that, especially as like, I mean, even recently when I started on EU League, like I had to very publicly show my weaknesses because I didn't know as much about the game as the people I was working with. And for me, that's hugely terrifying. I've spoken about how I don't play the game with friends of mine even now because I'm so scared of embarrassing myself by making mistakes. And this all comes from the fact that I fucked up these exams at the end of my A-levels and didn't get into the university that I wanted to get into. Yeah, I like, even I've been streaming the last few days. I haven't streamed properly in like a year and a quarter. And the reason being that back when I streamed Overwatch all the time, I would get so tilted and so mentally wound up every time I made a mistake that I would literally end the stream because I felt like I wanted to cry because I hated the idea of people seeing me do badly. Like it was like that bad. And it's taken me a lot of building up to get back into streaming because I know that I suck at playing Siege, but I've had to kind of learn to like be very open about it and also laugh at myself. And that was something I couldn't do because academia was like always what I was so good at. Like from being a tiny kid, that was always the fundamental, here is what I'm good at. And I couldn't laugh at myself about it because like growing up, like everything I was working towards was going to like the best university in the world. Mm-hmm. And it slipped through my fingers. And like that for me, it's just, I fucking probably should have gone to therapy, but you know, I don't think I realized how bad that had affected me until I was maybe about 21.
Oh, hello there. I hope you enjoyed this video. So make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. Shout out to all my Patreons that support me. If you're looking to support me, you can find my Patreon at patreon.com/improvblake. You can also find me streaming throughout the week at twitch.tv/improvblake.